My name is Maurizio Tangari, and I'm in the fitness industry for about like 10 years almost. Since I moved here in USA 10 years ago, I started this journey into the fitness industry by mistake. And I'm also an inventor of a HydroCore, a new fitness tool that I designed for On It. So yeah, I'm here, ready to answer any question and just have a little chat.
Yeah, man. It's cool. I really appreciate you coming on tonight and just sharing some time. So you mentioned you came over here and you got into this industry, the fitness industry, about 10 years ago, and you kind of said it was by accident. What? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I moved here in US because my daughter health problem. 9 years old, she was born with a heart problem. So me and my wife decided to move here because of the medical assistance she needed, and one of the best heart surgeon in the US, in the world probably, is here in San Diego. So that's the reason why we came here. And because the day of the surgery was always delaying. The idea was like, okay, we go back to Italy when I'm from Italy, by the way. Yeah, when this thing is done, and like years was going by, and she got the start surgery when she was 3. At that point, already was kind of already settle here and get connection and working on project. So we decided just to stay for good, because also she needed more attention year by year, not just because of the surgery. Surgery went good, everything is fine, but she's always like need to be monitored. That's why we just decided to stay for good. So I start like playing around into the local gym. I mean, I never been like a gym rat, always like, dislike the gym a lot, because my background is like windsurfing, kite surfing. So I always been at the beach. I had no time to go to the gym, whatever time I had, I was like, wakeboarding or kite surfing or windsurfing, always at the beach, and spending like, 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes a day in the water, and so for that reason I never like had the desire to go to the gym. Without a friend of mine when hitting the gym with religiously and try to get bulky, I was like kind of naturally developing my body because of the functional patterns movement I was doing all the time. And during that period, I remember I was like doing a lot of workout on the beach because there was no wind. We're just like bullshitting, like, throwing rocks and sandbag, fill up sandbag, or go for a run, or moving logs, wash the shore, like things that like back in the days, some people say, oh, this is kind of wild, or looks weird, like throwing bunch of rocks around, or lifting logs. But it was kind of fun, and always waiting for the waves come up or the wind come up. So in between we were improvising with things, right? And so when I came here, but back then, I'm talking about 20 years ago, more, probably more. I mean, I was a little kid, and there was a there was not really let's say exposure of unconventional training. We call unconventional, we can say that, right? So remember, during my 40 years old, when I was transitioning from windsurfing to kite surfing, uh, same type of sport, a little bit different, more aggressive for probably your joint shoulder than windsurfing. So I was kind of, because of age, because of, pushing the limit a little bit more, feeling discomfort in my elbow, shoulders, and things. So I had to kind of stop doing it, I think, always like stop is best for you, path of training with the sport, or say, okay, I need to take care of myself. So I decided to take care of myself, take a little break. So I took the time to research more about, functional movement, And first thing, I mean, it was something that was, let's say, familiar, because moving shit around, so we never thought about, isolating muscles, just like moving shit around was the idea. But I came across about tools like, klebbells, so sledgehammer, or, sandbag stuff, more like, people they put more work and research inside, and more like, explaining why just doing it, So there was an interesting process, seeing how, let's say, the parkour, we have the parkour nowadays, or the calisthenic stuff, the origin of the kind of stuff, So I remember back then I came across, I don't remember his name, but this guy, fuck, I don't remember the name, but it was this guy, he was in charge to develop the training system for the Legionnaire, the French Legion,
Yes.
because they were always on the move, right? So they were looking for modality workout to do on the move, right? To keep them lazy, to keep moving, and back then it was more like, marching with a rock for hours, right? Instead, he developed a system for them. There was like moving logs, climbing stuff, rolling your body, more parkour style, or what we have now, animal flows. Everybody is animal flowing now, and so it was interesting, because I said, fuck, this guy, imagine, like I'm talking about, when the French Legion was created. So we talking about, the 1800s, something like that. And this guy was so like, seen forward, of the functionality of the body, where, same time there was more like the people put more work and research into bodybuilding. Back then it was more hard gainers, right? It was like more like, lifting, but that very natural aesthetic look, more like, a Greek Roman statue than bulking, right? So more building yourself around the genetic of your body. So it was very interesting. I'll always be fascinating about it, the potential of the body with the functional strength, the genetic, then completely, change your genetic with using like, shortcut or supplement and things like that. So I was seeing that those type of thing was work, enjoyed a lot. And I remember when I came across with the kettlebell the first time, I said, what the fucking is this bowl, this cannonball shit? But, always the interesting thing, it was always the history, around the tools, like, the kettlebell, the mace, the kettlebell, sandbag, And so when I came across the kettlebell, see, it even looked like dumb, the movement that we're doing in the beginning, right? I say, but I mean, the story is fascinating. I mean, they cannot be wrong, right? If they use this thing for centuries, how the fucking can be wrong, right? It's impossible, right? So I say, I want to give it a chance. I want to get a credit and see what I can do. But I had no idea how to use the kettlebell, right? So I remember when I started, because I came across of the first like video, the people starting like translating the cassette to YouTube. So you see like this grainy, shitty video of Russian people moving this ball, more like a jiggling circle style. That was the first approach, first thing I saw it, and it was very challenging. It's like this big dude, like blindfolded, throwing this ball. It was like 80 pounds. I said, this is insane, But because my shoulder, my elbow, they were kind of injured. So I was looking for something and say, okay, what I can use in the meantime, what I can do. Obviously, to go into the gym and lifting is not an option because I feel more pain, So I came across to the Turkish get up. Remember, I saw the Turkish get up, And I did research, and then I saw like they were using, like in Persia, this basket full of rocks to perform the Turkish get up, which was the first movement they used to perform with the kettlebell, like in Persia, in Egypt, And I said, this is fascinating. I mean, imagine this movement that looks so simple, how complex it is at the end, right? You're familiar. See, like the Kushigada is to earn the movement. There's a lot going on, right? So I remember I had I ordered the first set of kettlebell, right? Because I said, okay, I got to order, the tools and see, and back then was Pavel. He did the first cassette, and I ordered the cassette with this little booklet to watch, things with this weird accent back in the days, and he was explaining the things, try to understand the snatch and things like that. But I mean, I couldn't do that stuff. But I ordered 28 kilo kettlebell, which was like unrealistic for a person to start, But you think like 28 kilos, okay, I can fucking lift 28 kilos, no big deal. When I got in my hand, I said, no, I cannot lift 28 kilos. So I remember I was ordering like 28. Okay, let me go 16, and no, let me go. So I was ordering all the set like backward, till I found it like this 8 kilo finally, which already with the Turkish get up was fucking brutal. I mean, I was like, what the heck is this movement? Because I like created those leverage, this point of leverage, and putting the elbow there, the hand, and the hips up. I mean, just the movement of the getting out with the hips in that position, and like pushing forward and holding the shoulder locked, perfectly perpendicular. That was insane. So, obviously, Pavel helped me a lot to understand, technique, to regress technique and everything. And I remember I did that movement for 3 months. And after 3 months, man, my elbow was I had no more than tennis elbow pain. My shoulder was completely healed when, the doctor told me to get surgery, obviously, get a surgery. The first thing they tell you, oh, get some of this, for the pain, but that was not an option for me, obviously. And at the end of 3 months, I was, man, more and more I was doing the Turkish get up, because it's so like, keep your shoulders so locked and build the strength in a position that impossible to get injured if the movement is perfectly aligned, and safe. And I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. So I started doing like wakeboarding again. It was all like, the things moving the shoulder backward and do all this freaking movement. I said, oh, wow. And I remember more I was doing, I started doing like, the Olympic rings, klebbells, sledgehammer, mace, Bulgarian bag, all this modality, making just my shoulders stronger, stronger, stronger. And after like few months doing the shit, I was able to doing like a human flag, no big deal, holding like for 10 seconds, which was something I've never imagined in my life I could do something like that, right? So that was a very interesting process to learn. But again, the things that got me hooked was the history, and how this pioneer, they were putting the system out there, which was so simple, so like basic. I mean, if you think like, there's no complexity really into the movement of the kettlebell. Is not, I mean, the complex to perform, to earn, but at the end of like 3 movements, and you can go in any direction you want it, because you got to use overall your strength and not just isolate a single muscle. So it was more about biomechanic, mobility, fluidity, because the system I learned was like the getaway sport. And then I approached also when Pavel passed to Dragon Door. I started exploring, go back and forth, but I'm always like more passionate about the getaway sport, like long cycle, snatching for 10 minutes, shit like that, like Russian style, was very interesting. because my kettlebell coach was from Ukraine, was ex-Spetsnaz, Oleg Lika. So I learned from him, and that was his approach. But when I was going back and forth, exploring Dragon Door system, always I was going back again to the Russian system. I liked more the modality more. Yeah.
I think it's so crazy when you look at like the just movement in general, going from like when you're a kid, you just like it's so natural to move and really like fitness as a kid is just like your life. You're playing around, you're playing sports, you're swimming, you're just running around with your friends. And it's weird how it turns from like from almost like the way that your life is as a kid is, and then when you get to a certain age it then becomes like fitness. It's like why does it have to be that way really? Like I think incorporating more movement just in our adult lives just to make that normal. Like it's almost weird to me that fitness has to be a thing. I guess it's just the way that the world is now. It's more, sedentary, just the way that jobs are and things like that. But it's almost weird how we have this like, when does it happen? When does it go from like, oh, it's normal to be out there running around and being active to it's almost weird when adults are active. Do you ever kind of get that to like where it's people like look at you almost weird whenever you enjoy like being active like that?
It's just for me. It's weird. For example, I remember, always when I go back to Italy, because the summer sometimes I go back to Italy, so I see old friends, people I know from, and then I remember last summer I saw this dude who used to live in my same building. We used to live this big building, in Italy, and there were like a lot of kids at this building, and I remember this dude when I saw him. Hey, I say hi. How are you doing? I'm obviously, he's my age now, but I remember him like he was doing backflip or crazy shit, right? But not that he never did any calisthenics school, or I mean, the little town in Italy, there were no like the kind of knowledge or possibility to approach or have available like a coach who can teach you the stuff. Everything we learn from street. It was there was the dude that was fucking amazing on soccer, like a natural talent. Imagine with some type of guidance, what he could be now. I mean, now he work at the bank, probably will be the next Pele, you know what I'm saying? And this dude like doing backflip and things like that. But at some point, each one of us have had a different talent or expertise because he was more dedicated. I remember the guy was like fucking dragon with his bike, I mean, just naturally because they were just doing shit. Or like, parkour was like, okay, any one of us could climb a tree in 3 seconds because they know like, would put the hand. Your brain was so, your brain was so developed to think fast, react fast, because we always were fighting, hitting each other. So you get to kind of, or chasing each other, so always looking behind, all the time. Things that, kids, they don't do now. I mean, it just amazed me the fact that, we have to go, I mean, the fact that we have to go to the gym for me is the most ironic thing ever in my life, because you can just let your kids climb a tree all day, being outside in the mud, rolling. Stop telling him, oh, don't go on the floor. We know, matter of fact, the most perfect squat is a 2 years old kid. He earned the most perfect squat in the world. And then when he become 4, he move like shit because mom telling him to don't sit on the floor, to don't roll anymore, to don't climb the tree, to don't do this, don't do that. And then they pay tons of money to bring him to gymnastic. When the kid was good when he was 2. Hello, right now he's 4. You pay to let him doing the things you can learn naturally. It's just like ironic. I mean, if I find ironic, it's just something that I saw more when I came here in US, because coming from a little village, we don't have gym. We don't have like, the soccer coach or the basketball. We had to learn shit by ourselves. Or there was maybe some dude that, he knew something, and, trying to pass this information, but they were so limited information. It's more, probably was more like the you could see right away the passion in anything. You see the guy, man, you want to play soccer all day. You don't fucking care about anything. You just want to roll the freaking ball all day. Or you want to just climb tree all day. Or there was the smart dude that was good, like, building tools for us, like little things. We had to that dude. Oh, you know how to do this shit. You know how to do this stuff, right? Right. It was like a naturally develop those skills without knowing anything. I mean, for me, it's amazing. It's like that's probably the kids need more nowadays, instead of like, I think is in China. I don't remember where. The first like 2 years or 6 years, the kids have to just naturally develop skills and information, instead to try to teach them stuff. Probably I'm mistaken, but I think it's in China they do that, like for the first 2 years or something like that. They trying to like, okay, what are you good for? They put like, a bunch of things in front of them, and they see what kind of skills or information he's able to develop by himself without forcing. I mean, I believe that's the best thing. There's a lot of like, the states, like in Sweden, for example, they keep the kids outside. They have trees. They let them climb trees. They let them break arms. That that's like, it seems like brutal nowadays for moms. They keep kids in a bubble. They're like always afraid they get hurt or things like that. There's too much of that nowadays. It's just ironic for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. I think it goes back to like kind of like an overprotection, and whether it be like being afraid to break your arm, or your parents being afraid to let you get dirty. But I think it goes even deeper to like being afraid to fail, like in anything. And so you take the safer route, and you don't really ever figure out what you like to do or what you're good at, what your passions are. Um, it certainly, I think, is good for a system in some ways, but not necessarily good for the individuals a part of that system. But go into like the implements and stuff that you were talking about. I think it's really interesting how there are so many different things that are part of these different cultures, and they've been around for so long. But a lot of people here, even though America is a melting pot and things, like a lot of people don't know about those things. They've never heard about them, and it might just be the commercialization of the big box gym, to where it's the barbells and things like that. But I mean, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but what really is it about those different implements? You kind of mentioned the history a little bit, but from the people I've talked to, it just seems like the people who are really interested in these different implements are really passionate about almost the implement itself, as much as they are about the workout side of things.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, we always seen, I mean, me coming from Europe, okay, and from a country that like little town that had no possibility of tools, anything, nothing available. It was just always improvising. Everything was improvised. There was one guy that had the ball, so there was your best friend, even if it was a fucking asshole. So anyone that had something, we try to connect and get the best from each other, right? And learn from each other. And so the problem, what I've seen, for example, when I was in my like when we had the TV at home. Back in when I was a little kid, we had the radio, so we used to gather around the radio, listen to the radio. I know I just aged myself a lot now saying that, but it's true, because there's no money, so we had the radio. And I remember when my father brought, the first TV, and the first like things that were showing on TV, they were things from East Europe. There were a lot of things, cartoon or stuff from East Europe and things like that. And then we start like seeing on TV things from United States. And we just like, we lived with this myth, the things that we see there, that's a reality. We believed like, the cowboy, they all like this in the United States. And, we see like, the perfect Happy Days house. That's how they live. That's what they eat, the things like that. And what I noticed when I came here is that because they create a reality, their own reality, a bubble. I see like United States like a big bubble where they try to create a reality and everything is outside for them. Well, actually, they don't have the needs to see what outside, because they have everything. They construct everything here in a perfect world. They don't see it. Okay, what's the history of the cable? I remember when the first the cable came. Okay, and then I remember there was this big massive fight between the Dragor system, like and people that were kind of seeing like the Giveaway system like bullshit. There was a fucking joke. I mean, this dude created that, and they're saying that the Dragon Door system is better. It was like, this is bad. Instead of having an open mind and say, okay, let me see the history. Let me see what's out there. Like, the bodybuilding. I mean, the fitness industry in the United States, they create what is the bodybuilding now. The oily dude full of steroids, right? That was never an option in Europe. You see the circus dude, the strong man with the cheetah clothes, lifting things at the local fair. That was the strong dude lifting shit around, right? And they were seeing that as a joke, and they were seeing what they create here as the real deal. So that's what always what they do here in United States. That's the problem. You have to think also about it, that probably, I think it's very high percentage. I don't remember. I don't want to say bullshit, but I think that 80% of the people in the United States, they don't own a passport. I noticed that because most of people don't even know where it is, like, Mykonos, like an island of Greece, or some, also they kind of, they don't focus on studying a lot of history about the old world, like, the ancient Greece, the Roman, and things like that. It's very superficial the way they approach that. So that's why, I think the mistake here is like, trying to commercialize, trying to make money on top of anything, everything, transform in a way they become more accessible, which is not wrong, right? For me, it's not wrong making information more accessible, but all comes at the end of this is the best you can have it, without researching where it come from, without seeing where it come from. And when some people wake up and see where it come from, they have like, this, oh fuck, I thought this is what it was. I didn't know there was something different than what I'm doing now. Oh, there's something, oh really, I can eat different food than that, like, for instance, when I came here in US, I remember my wife was saying like, oh, we gotta buy organic. It's fucking, what fucking mean organic? I don't even know what it means. And I said, can you explain what is this organic? I always say organic. I said, oh, this is food with no processing, blah, blah, all these things. I said, that's what we do in Italy all the time. It doesn't exist. Why have to pay more for something that, it need to be that way? You see also that into the food industry, they trying to make you believe that what is natural is an elite thing, is a niche. You have to pay more for that when it's supposed to be like that, right? So everything become like, normalized here, and they create it all in a matter that, okay, this thing need to make money. How we can make more money as possible on this. Because I see, I mean, I sometimes I go here. There's a gym, a Lifetime, which is a big franchise gym in there. Everything they do in there, I don't want to say it's wrong, but for me, it's fucking boring. I mean, I go there because my wife likes to go there. So I always do my own shit, moving things around and experimenting, And when I see people doing the same shit forever, I mean, I've been here like, almost 10 years now, more than 10 years. And I know people from 10 years, man, they do the same fucking shit forever. Can you just change and explore and see? I think that's at the end, that's what they want in any type of industry. They want people stick with one thing, because the time they change, they don't make money. And then I see that in the fitness industry. I see with the personal trainer. I mean, the way I'm working personal training, for example, I like to teach people shit. I don't want people be depend on me. For me, is ridiculous. For me, I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing, you know, having a client, and he don't learn shit on me. He just rely on me all the time. He feel like lost. If I'm leaving to Italy 2 months, he don't know what fucking he's doing. And then he just gets sloppy and lazy because, oh, you left me alone. So I start eating pizza every day and going to the bar instead of being accountable on and you know, use the information, using all the information and the skill that I transfer to him to do things by himself, you know. That's for me is fucking ridiculous. I mean, the idea of the personal trainer that is your God, that without him you feel lost, for me is the most stupid things ever. Like, you know, like the person that go always to the doctor. I mean, we have seen, like, you know, obviously during these 2 years of pandemic, how the people, they more easily looking for a cure than, you know, instead of take care of themselves overall and avoid, you know, cures, right? You know, we have seen this. That's the proof that people, they have no idea. They have no idea how your body works. They have no idea how to be accountable, to take care of yourself. It's just ridiculous. We saw that. And, you know, I was just reflecting today, you know, because now they put more information out there, which we always knew that, you know, people with underlying condition like, you know, body fat and blah blah, they're more, you know, a risk of COVID and things like that. But why need to be like that? Why people don't know how to fucking take care of themselves? Because there is no education about that. I saw like the only country in the world, I was talking to my wife, that really put it out there information to help people take care of it, was El Salvador. So what they did a huge campaign, how stay outdoor, working out, take care of yourself. And they were sending home like, you know, kit with vitamin D, ivermectin, zinc, every month to family to take care of myself, you know, to like avoid getting sick and things like that. They don't do here in the United States specifically because it's not good. The person need to be sick. The person need to eat junk food. You know, the person need to rely on the doctor and constantly rely on the personal trainer. I don't know, maybe just me, but you know, when I see personal trainers at the gym with the same client for 20 years, they look like shit. They look the same way. It's just like, you know, they create that psychological dependency. It's like a drug. It's like a fucking drug. That's what I see. It's an addiction. They see like the trainer, like, you know, a drug, and then I mean, they were on. I say, and the first thing I say to people, listen, man, I don't want to train you for 10 years. I don't want to see your fucking face around for 10 years. I want you to learn. I have a lot of clients that they became trainers, or they are like so passionate, and now we work out together, or we do video together for my app and things. And that's the thing that made me, you know, happy the most. See how he succeed, how he's independent, how he's strong, how he can transfer me energy, and he can also teach me something. You know what I'm saying? That, I mean, for me, that's when the student become a teacher. That's probably, I think, is the most amazing things, you know, a teacher can see it, right? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
No, yeah, I think that's a good point because kind of like you were mentioning before, everybody has a different skill set. And if you can reach that one person who is a client and they have that skill set of being a good teacher themselves, they just need the information. I think that's a really cool possibility to pass on to somebody else. And, you know, not to get into too deep of a conversation on COVID, because I know a lot of people are tired of hearing about it, and, you know, everybody has their own
Oh yeah,
opinions on it,
absolutely.
but I think it's true. I think it's so interesting to see, you know, right now being 2 years in, and people still, like, we have all this information on how obesity, people with obesity are affected more by it, and people with other underlying conditions are affected more by it. And people are still so unwilling to do anything for themselves to help get healthier. And it's mind blowing, really, because the so much fear that is behind it, you know. But the answer is so, almost so simple. It's like, okay, eat healthier, move your body more, and you're gonna pretty much be okay when it comes down to it. Obviously some people are a little bit different, but it's just like, if there's that much fear around it, why are people not doing more when it comes to protecting themselves? And I think that what you said about El Salvador, I think it's so powerful, because here in United States, we got stimulus checks. We got multiple checks for, I can't remember how much it was now, $1,500 or so.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the total amount, but I know we put in hundreds of billions of dollars on this thing just in America. And why couldn't we have done something a little bit more productive with that $1,500? Really probably closer to 3,000, or whatever it was, if some people got it twice. And the business stimulus that there was thrown out there, which in a lot of ways I think was good for some reason, for some businesses. But like, if we can put even half of that money into sending people, like you're saying, vitamin D, and just information, simply giving them information, sending them information personalized, and just putting more into the health side of it.
Yeah, there was this Michael Moore documentary he did. Michael Moore, right? The director, he did the 9/11 documentary,
Okay.
and so he did one documentary. I don't remember the name, but he was going around the world. Probably if you can find on Netflix, it's very interesting. So what he did, he traveled around the world and see, like, how different state, countries, they have different rules about anything. For instance, he went to France, see what they eat the kids at school, and then he compared what they eat at school in the United States. It was like a checking around, say. And for instance, which is amazing for me, in France, the kids, they educate them already how to eat. So, like, I mean, the kitchen of a kindergarten is like the kitchen of an hotel. So they have like professional chef, and they have like tons of type of cheese, and food and things, and the kids have to serve at the table, and they have to explain, like we're talking like 6 years old kids, right? And it's funny that at one point, as a joke, he brought on the table like a Coca-Cola. So he opened that, and the kids look at him, like, what the fuck are you doing this shit there? So they see, like, they already educate the kids. That's the most important thing. So you have to educate the kids since small kids, I mean, how to cook, what is good and what is shitty. This is good, this is shitty, right? If they don't know any difference, how they pretend they understand about eating? It's impossible, right? I remember 6 years old, my mom was teaching me how to do simple things, how to cook pasta, to do fried egg, to survive, right? Because she was at the hospital, so she told me, like, basic things. I always, like, I remember my memory about my mom is looking at her in the kitchen. All the things I can cook now, because I looked my mom doing it constantly, repeating, like martial art. Repeat, repeat, and then you learn. I mean, it sounds ironic, but I look my mom cooking for so many years that can replicate, maybe not the same skills of taste the food that she was making it. And my wife said, well, how you can cook? So, I mean, I never did any school, just look at my mom making stuff all day, and I know how to do it, So imagine if the kids, they're exposed to good food, how to cook. What is the difference between this bread, this cheese, the milk, and things like that they're learning. So that was an interesting documentary, because also when he showed the picture, Michael Moore showed the picture of what they eat at the school, they would look like a slob of things. The kids listen, what is that? What is it? I don't understand. You know, why they eat so bad? Why they eat that kind of things? And again, all comes to, if you don't know better, how you can know better, right? You know, I mean, it looks like a joke of, you know, like playing with words and things, but that's what it is. If you don't know better, you don't understand better. And it comes on food and health, in the fitness industry, in anything. You know, you don't know better, you know, you think that's normal, right? To open the fridge. I see with my clients, and then when they ask me, oh, I never like, I don't like to invade other people at the professional field. Like people ask me for I don't know, oh, my shoulder hurts, what I can do. I don't do that. I know maybe how to do it, you know, but I don't like improvise, because it's not my field. I send you to the professional. Or people, most of the time in the fitness industry, they ask you advice about, you know, what to eat and things like that. And then I said, man, really, I need to tell you what to eat. Really, you need to know what to eat. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sure if I come to your house, I open the fridge, it's full of crap. You know, the first thing I will do is just throw away all the crap you have in the fridge. I mean, for me, the concept of the person that telling me, I don't know what is healthy or unhealthy. Are you serious? You asking me what is out? You don't know that drinking gallons of soda or snacking all day is unhealthy for you. I mean, for me, it's just like insane. Just that simple question. It's just ridiculous, you know. I don't embrace that shit, you know. I mean, I don't support that kind of shit.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point, because I feel like a lot of people almost use ignorance as an excuse, but I think most people do know. I mean, maybe there's a small segment that are just really have no idea, but I think most people, you could point, you know, which food's healthy, A or B, and they would know. But it reminds me of, actually, when you were talking about kind of the difference between the countries, it reminds me of a story I heard, and I'm assuming it's true, but um, it was during a post game press conference, I think, with Ronaldo, and he moved a Coke or something off the table, and he was like, "I don't drink this. I drink water. You know, I'm an athlete. I
It's true.
drink
Yeah, I
water."
saw that. I was watching that thing. He's like, what
Really?
is this shit? Yeah, it was hilarious. Because he said,
But
what
yeah,
he's
that
doing? So he got the thing, he moved away. He said, no, this is shit. This is good. I mean, he can do, I mean, so imagine that this is a very powerful, because, you know, always something that I told, you know, friends and things like that. So you can really make a huge impact as a personality that is in the movie, is whatever, right? You know, and then sometimes, you know, these actors, they align themselves in this big campaign about the climate change, right? You know, it's so fucking unrealistic. It's so fucking unrealistic for me, right? Imagine if you just campaign for a person, don't eat Cheetos. I mean, just one thing. Don't go fucking, you know, climate change. Just be advocate, really, like Ronaldo. Simple gesture like that was so powerful. Left such an impact, probably, in all the kids, that they see this guy as a person to look, you know, into, as a legend, as a mentor, whatever you want to call. So probably, you know, I don't know how many million of kids impact with a simple gesture. Say, Ronaldo don't drink the shit. Ronaldo drink water. So imagine how many kids are going to say, Mom, what's wrong with you? Ronaldo don't drink Coke. I mean, I can see that happening all the time. So imagine for all these actor and you know, basketball player. I mean, for me, it's fucking, I can understand, you know, at some point you become greedy and things like that. Can you fucking refuse to be sponsored from McDonald's? Can
right.
you fucking refuse to be sponsored from Burger King? Instead, say, man, you know what? I'm getting less money, but I want to be sponsored from this company that make this natural food or veggie, or I just want to be sponsored from the farmers of the United States. Support the farm. Support, like, you know, this little franchise. They make, you know, natural coffee, and I don't know, help farmers in Guatemala. things like that. Imagine how the world can be better if these big stars. I said, hey, listen, now I'm at the point, I can understand you growing your image. So you need to be a certain point to make change, right? To have a huge impact, right? And imagine when you reach a level, you can say, fuck Coca-Cola, I drink water. I mean, that's amazing, right? Why they don't do that? Why they don't fucking do that? They can really change the world if they instead of going on realistic goals and campaign, changing this, remove the nuke from China. I think like crazy shit that a kid don't fucking care. I mean, a kid need a guidance, to understand how to important is taking care of himself and understand how important is to eat right. That's all you need to know. I mean,
Right.
now obesity in kids is just a level of, it's absurd. I mean, I don't remember any friend when I was a kid that was obese. I didn't know what it fucking was obesity. I don't remember one person in my town that was obese, to be honest.
Yeah, the power that these stars have and the way that they kind of wield the everybody kind of wants to be like a social justice warrior and a everything else instead of like you're saying just worrying about simple things that people actually can control, like I think that that really would, not to restate your whole thing, but like I think that would be just as such a more powerful message. Like if LeBron, instead of having a McDonald's commercial, he did have a healthier sponsor, it would be crazy. But to get into HydroCore and kind of how how you develop that, and tell us a little bit about that, how you developed the product, and when did you start developing it? What was kind of the motivation behind developing all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the idea was when I remember when I told you I was like exploring new tools, workout and things. So I came across like first of all using the sandbag, and then I came across to this video about this Bulgarian bag. I know if you're familiar with the Bulgarian bag, which obviously no brain inspired. The HydroCore design is very similar, right? The same shape, So I started getting interested about the Bulgarian bag. So there was a tool that I really loved it. So I really got so into, and I met like the inventor. I did a workshop with him. I got certified, and things like that. And I remember, the tool was amazing, and I feel so good when I was using, my grip strength was, get better and better because always like, the grip strength was is the main things, but not just Bulgarian bag, kettlebell, whatever you name it, right? Uh, so I see a change on my grip strength. That was impressive, right? So when I always like to travel, I mean, is your dream like bring like a tool you love around the world, right? And you end up in a hotel that always the gym is in the basement. It's pathetic. There's nothing in there, nothing you like in there. And also maybe you're in vacation in beautiful places and you don't want to be in the fucking basement gym for 2 hours. You don't want to be outdoor, right? So I started like bringing with me like a Bulgarian bag, but it was like the amount of weight I could bring. It was just like the 7 kilo one was the smallest one, and it was always a problem to bring it with me. So I was looking away, say, how I can bring the Bulgarian bag with me. So I started thinking about, maybe if I fill up, with sand when I go somewhere. But was no war. Was I mean, always some places don't have sand right there. You have to fill the sand and put perfectly in. It was like a fucking mess all the time. So it said this point is like a sandbag, right? But I like the shape because you can perform different movement with the Bulgarian bag than the sandbag, also because of the design is different. So I start working on the idea of filling up with water, because back then, I'm talking about like, uh, 6, 7 years ago when I came up with this, just this idea with nothing, no, nothing, just the idea, right? There will come things in your brain, oh, I want to go to the moon. But yeah, but you have to build a fucking rocket, you can just fly to the moon, right? So, okay, let's learn how to build a rocket ship first, right? So, so I had no idea how to do this. And I mean, it's a long story how I came across, you know, the person that helped me with this product here. But you know, at the end of the story, I found this guy. He put me in touch with a company in China that, you know, helped me to build the first prototype, which was enormous, was huge, was completely different. You know, what we have now was like 84 pound of water. It was just like a fucking monster, you know. But that's another thing, you know. It's interesting because, like I say, the story about the kettlebell at the beginning, I was like, you know, ordering the 28. When you never use it, you don't fucking have idea how can respond when it's in your hand, right? And so when I built the first one, you know, it came to me and I put some water inside. I mean, full was 84 pounds. So I put 84 pounds of water. Is like, no. So I started removing water from inside. But the interesting thing was, like, you know, more water I was removing and more challenging it was because the water was moving, right? And and then, you know, I had no idea what I was dealing back then. You know, my idea was transportability. Was like, okay, I want to make this tool transportable. But because I had no concept, when I put the water inside and then I was holding in my hand and the water was shifting and moving, I say, what the fuck is this shit? You know, why is so hard? You know, I mean, I was waiting on the scale. I remember, you know, back then I was using, you know, easily 40 pound Bulgarian bag, like EP1, 45 pounds Bulgarian bag easily. But we're talking about a solid weight. And then when I put in there, like, you know, same amount of 40 pound of water shifting, I was like feeling like, you know, moving around and saying, well, I can't hold this shit. So I removed the water completely, like, you know, probably a few pounds in. Like I said, well, let's start from zero. You know, I put like, you know, 3 pounds inside and then, okay. And then, you know, so putting more. And the first response was neurological. It was not like muscular because there was nothing to move. It was like, you know, no muscular response. It was like more my brain to connect with the tool and the movement. So everything was so challenging because I couldn't understand, you know, how the tool would, I mean, I was familiar with the movement. I was familiar with the spin, snatching, and this and that side experience. So not that I was building everything from scratch. So what I had to do, I had to kind of, you know, so that's the thing that, and that was a good learning process because the kind of, you know, that experience, you know, it made me approach in different way everything I did since then. Always with an open mind, always with, like, you know, forget what you fucking know, just like forget, okay, say, and start learn. Just shut the fuck up and learn, you know, because most of people, you know, in anywhere, like I say, okay, specific in our industry, they, because they know something, they think they know everything, and so what they do, they translate those information they have, and so they see everything new as a threat on what they know, as if they're going to change what I know instead of like implement and, you know, make it better, you know, mix up things is the best things ever, right? You know, you can mix up and create something amazing, right? So I had to kind of forget everything I knew, like say, okay, let me put this shit apart about the Bulgarian bag. I want to see what this tool is all about. It. So I started playing around, experimenting, put it down, you know, forget about it, go it again, do some stuff, go completely, you know, basic, like lunges, basic stuff, just carry on. I started like running with the bag or just do curls or just do like lunges or simple stuff like pendulum, you know. I was seeing, man, this is fucking cool. You know, this water concept. Back then, there was nothing really with the water. The idea came from also the slush pipe. Remember the slush pipe back in the days? There was like this PVC pipe, like, you know, you buy Home Depot, and you used to put the water inside the lock at the end. It was like long, like probably 6 feet long. So it was creating this instability. And so I got the idea because I said, okay, if I do like a slush pipe, it look like a Bulgarian bag, I put the water inside. And I mean, not going all the details, how hard it was like create the design and the parts and everything. That's very hard and challenging to look for those parts. But when I had the first prototype, was very interesting. But you know, the fun part is again, because the fitness industry is so, I mean, now we can see more like, you know, open-minded, is more like willing to explore, right? But I'm talking about years ago, and they were so like this. So anything like, again, was seen like as a threat or as a stupid or as a gimmick, right? You know, OCO, like the shaker on TV, right? You know, the little shaker things, right? You know, so this is stupid. This is everything's this is stupid. So every time I was showing, you know, my idea, but even trainers, even coaches, they didn't understand. I said, how you don't get it? I mean, you don't get it because you never see it, because you never touch it. The moment I was putting in the hand, they seen like, you know, the challenge, and they were not willing to relearn. So that's the problem. And that's the problem I see all the time, you know. I've seen on me, like, you know, why I want to learn this shit. You know, I'm good what I know, right? You know, instead of saying, oh man, this shit really can be good for me, right? You know, this is challenging. It's a new learning process, good for my brain. And I can see like, you know, challenging my body in a different way. That's why, you know, when I go to Lifetime, I see people do this shit the same all the time. They are not willing to relearn or embrace a new journey. They require like, you know, 3-6 months to start understanding and learning new skills, instead of just stick for what they know. And they reach their plateau, their boredness, which at some point, you know, they're going to completely, you know, let go, because they don't see a result, or they feel bored, you know, to do all the same shit over and over. So when I was like approaching coaches, experimenting, and see, oh, can you tell me, like, you know, I went from coaches, because in the process of developing like a product, you know, you to experiment with anyone, the person that go to the gym, the professional, the person that never go to the gym. And it was exciting, more like see how the people, they were not in the fitness industry, they're never working out, they were saying, oh, this is cool, this is something I can do it, because it was not intimidating. The cool things, the feedback that I always have from my product is it's not intimidating, it's not steel, it's not iron. So I can see I cannot hurt myself. I can learn the basic shit and just carry on. You know, I can start using from day one. I don't need to learn perfect snatch. Is a forgiven. Can make a mistake. You know, you can let go from your hand. You don't care. You're not afraid if you let go, you're gonna crash. You know, somewhere and hurt someone. You know, so that's why I was like very successful from the beginning. I was not expecting that, because anyone I was touching said, I can see using this. I can see using my house, you know, scratch the floor. I can see using outdoor. I can deflate it. I can bring it around. I can adjust the weight. So there was like, you know, the main thing about my product. But, you know, again, all the process of, for me, relearning, rebuild those skills around the new idea was very, very interesting and challenging, but also was interesting seeing how a lot of people, they saw as a bullshit. You know, there's still some people still like, you know, I mean, I don't get it now, you know, I don't get it, like, you know, the benefit, or how can be. I always see sometimes, you know, sometimes there's, I mean, we have so many tools out there, right? You know, sometimes I see tools as a way to link to a specific movement or other tools. And that's what I teach during my workshops. Say, hey, you need to have an open mind. You see how hard it is to teach a power snatch with a barbell. It's fucking hard. It requires years and years and years. The learning curve is unbelievable. Or a kettlebell snatch, or a swing in a maze, right? You know, it always comes to your brain telling you, oh, you can hurt yourself, or it's hard. It's always your brain put like the barrier between you and the tools, right? But when I show like people snatching with my bag, doing spin in a way that is so quick, you learn in few minutes. You already learn how to do stuff with 1 pound of water, which is nothing, and you build your way up, or do like a snatch, sloppy, shitty, let go the bag, who cares? But that's a link for whatever you want to do it. For example, one thing that I like to teach a lot to some coaches, they do, for example, they do barbell snatch, they use a lot of barbell as a link to fill up the gap between the broomstick and the bar. The broomstick, okay, but the broomstick is nothing, man. They create no instability. Okay, anyone can do this broomstick. Like, oh, look at me, bang, right? But when I go to the bar, we're talking about already 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds bar. We have a weight, and that technique need to translate to something. They go from 0 to 40 pounds. So already like there's a gap, and it's big, and it's long, it's intimidating again. That's why I like to put like, the bag in between. And man, I noticed like, really in few hours, they're already able to manage in the bar, because I put that tool in between, which you can slam it, you can fall on your head, you don't fucking care. And also because there's the water inside. If the verticality of the snatch is not managed in the right way, you're gonna have the water moving. So if you create just a little bit of elliptical line instead of vertical, you're gonna feel the bag smacking behind you, which is a reminder that you create like a curve instead of like stopping perfectly on top of your head, behind your neck, and locking in this way. So I have a precise technique to fill up that gap there, which a lot of coaches are appreciating. And there's a lot of coaches, to be honest, they use my product just for that. They don't fucking care about the spin and this and that. They say, man, this is fucking shorten the learning curve of the snatch that for me require a lot of gap, or sometimes it doesn't allow me to teach to I don't know, the mom. It's hard. It's very hard. The demographic of the, let's say, what bring more money in the fitness industry is the mom, right? They go train at the gym, right? But there's certain things that they want to do it. That thing that, oh man, the bar, no, it's hard. Bring months and months or a year before they're gonna touch a bar. They always do the shit on the treadmill or the dumbbell or the rubber band, right? So when we talk about strength training, lifting heavy, they very like they believe that they're going to become a monster because they touch the bar, right? So I always get like this message say, oh, glad I learned that, because I was able to bring the mom towards the bar easily. Just doing like 2 months of snatching with the bag, the mechanic is there. They kind of absorbed the mechanic subconsciously, and when touching the bar, it's just another tool. Everything is there. I mean, see, like, man, after like one attempt, they already do a fucking snatch, and they didn't even know it was already in there. So they love to fill up the gap in their way. So again, like saying always to when I go to the workshop, you got to see it, this product, as a product that can make it easier for you to translate this information towards a tool. Is a realistic thinking. I didn't create the bag because this is the only thing you got to use it from now on. If you want to get fit, like the infomercial on TV, they say, oh, don't need anything else. Don't do this anymore. That's the only tool you're going to use for the rest of your life. We created a perfect tool for you, right? That's what you see on TV. The perfect shampoo. That's the only one. The perfect food. That's the only one you want and need for the rest of your life. It's unrealistic. It's stupid. It's completely, insane thinking that person going to use that one tool for the rest of his life. So that's why, we like to mix it up and do things, or use tool as a link to learn new things, different things that in other way you never had the possibility to approach, because it's intimidating, because you don't have the information, or you have a sloppy information, and translate those sloppy information to the solid iron can be very, very dangerous sometimes. So that's the thing. It's some coaches, sometimes, the one more open-minded with not a lot of ego, they're willing to listen, see what you want to bring on the table. That's why I say you always listen, always, like, there's always something to learn, that you can, one information that can help you to be a better person, or that can help one of your clients to learn faster. That's that little fucking tool that you think is stupid, but it can help you to translate some information and learn better.
Yeah. I think it is the small things, whether it's a tool or whether it's a piece of information, whether it's just a small habit. I think it is the small things that make the biggest difference. But how did you, I think getting connected with Onnit's really cool, because they have such a large reach with, so many people that like their things as well. How did you get connected with them though?
Yeah, so that comes in my when I start learning in Italy, approach like the club and all the kind of stuff. I was looking for a system to learn more how to move my body. So I came across to this system called TACFit, Tactical Fitness. I don't know if you're familiar. It's like the father of Animal Flow now. Ido Portal. Back then it was this system was more military related, more like training soldier how to work out in a short amount of time and short amount of space. That was the idea, like kind of, what we call like a prisoner workout, right? In the same way, like, the military, they don't have tools available, they don't have time, they don't have space. So be accountable, get stronger, create this movement. So the inventor of this system was Scott Sonnen, world champion Sambo and Jiu-Jitsu. So he created the system, a lot of movement, connected to martial art. So they were more like, there were no flow back then. Now I see a lot of flow, things like that. So all the movement that we had then are more like, okay, this movement, repeat constantly this movement till you were like, the old school Kung Fu stuff, repeat till you were in the movement with the breathing. So there were the breathing, the movement, the position of the feet, everything was very precise, So when I approached the system there, more for my own sake than become a coach, but with no idea back then when I was in Italy to become a coach. So I met this awesome people, that went into the system. I coach in Italy. And I organized this event in Italy, in Capri Island, the TACFit, and the team from United States, it came to Italy. So I met the team from United States. Back then, the director of TACFit in USA was Coach John Wolf. I don't know if you know John Wolf. Is like, now he's in charge on it. So we became friends, When I moved to US, I went to visit him, his gym back then was in Salinas. And we became a very good friend with some people that were back in the system, and still some of them, like, Isik, Biking Ninja. I don't know if you know him. There's some people still in the system. But anyway, so me and John were a very good friend. And but at some point, we disconnected from TACFit. It happened. I got out from TACFit. He got out from TACFit for almost the same reason. Was again, I don't like, make people believe that one system is unique and that's the only thing you have to do it. And then, unfortunately, there's a lot of systems, they create a cult, around, right? They like that. I mean, because they believe that if they don't create a tool, they're going to lose, like, followers, right? So the idea of the cult, the multi-level thing, and so every time I was trying, to be creative or to mix, the system with other stuff, they were kind of punishing and trying to put you in your place, like, the system is this, you know, I dare you to do that, you know, things like that. So slowly, like, kind of faded out from the system. You know, I didn't like also the way they were kind of, you know, make you feel bad. The people that were trying to approach the system. That happened all the time. Each one of us start somewhere, right? You know, you see something, you like it, you attempt to do it, you mistakes is horrible, it look like shit, you know, but at some point you decided to get more information or educated, because the person see you doing that bad, say, hey man, let me show you how to, you know, I see your passion, you know, that's the approach that I like to do it. You know, man, I see your passion, let me show you something how to do it, you know, so you don't hurt yourself and things like that. But the way these people were, like, you know, approaching was just like, you know, what, dare you to do this? I mean, you look like shit, you're not even certified, why are you posting video about that, this movement, you know, things like that. I said, man, the guy just need to learn. We started like that, you know, and we learn and become coach, and you good, possibly, but there's no reason to make the person feel bad because it looks like shit. You don't need to tell, you know, he looks like shit, but you know, he's probably with some kind of pride, or you know, try to drive some attention, you know, he posts things on social media, you know, and who are you to say? I mean, just try to get him towards your system, include him, and you know, encourage him to do better. They lost a lot of, you know, followers for that, actually, you know, a lot of system, probably they lost a lot of followers because they were so judgmental and not open to help people to get in the system in a different polite approach. It was just like, you know, crucifying people because your sit through is not perfect. Who the fuck I care? You know, I mean, you know, really need to be like this? You know, there's so many ways to do a push up. Which push up is the best push up? It's just fucking ridiculous. So that's why, you know, I faded out from the system, and John also, you know, faded out from the system. And we met, so after a few years. I kind of contact him on social media. I say, hey man, where are you? What happened? You know, long time I don't see you. What happened? And then he said, oh, I'm going to move into Texas to this company named On It. And I said, what the fucking is On It? You know, back then, like, no idea. It was a company selling, you know, supplements. You know, it was a small company. And I say, oh, this company, they asked me to design, like, you know, a training system for them. They want to sell maces and Klebel, all tools that we were familiar, you know. And then, so he created, you know, all the system for On It in a way that was very understandable. I mean, you see, probably if you're familiar with On It, you see how much attention they put on details and make sure that people start from the basic, you know, very easy, simple, and build your way up with, you know, time, with, you know, put passion inside, and then you kind of like the system, which I remember, you know, when On It started, a lot of people, they already, you know, they, everybody want to skip, they want to always go forward, like, you know, nowadays this is what they do, they read it through a book and they skip the page and they want to see, oh, what's next, oh, I know this shit, I don't need to know, you know, this basic stuff. But I think, you know, they On It did a great work on that, to even people they knew, at the end they didn't know a lot, going back and review information and see how you can approach it in a different way. Always it comes to how can bring more people in my circle of client, you know, in a very safe environment, and that will come from. So that's why, you know, when John ended up On It, we're just like two friends, like, you know, catching up with each other, and I was building like the HydroCore. And again, it was just the idea. I say, hey, John, look, you know, I have this idea. I remember I was doing the Auto Bulgarian bag. What do you think? It was the one that encouraged me. You know, say, oh, I mean, I don't know. See, maybe, you know, go forward and see where it goes. So I was like keeping him update, you know, about the process of the bag. And then he got more responsibility, you know, on it back then, and more like a decisional power, you know, into the company. But again, was never an idea of my bag being on. It was just like two friends. I was happy for him be more successful in the company, which I didn't know. And he was happy, to kind of catch up with me and talk about my idea. We just like talking to each other time to time. So at some point, I had like, the final prototype. So I was kind of, knocking to different doors to pitch, like, for investors or company that were interested, things like that. And I mean, I don't know how many people told me no, it was stupid, no, we're gonna, why, this is ridiculous, some million of people. I don't know how many company probably. I mean, I've like hundreds of email I sent to people, or I showed around the bag to. So it was kind of, at some point, I don't want to say discouraged, because at the end, when you believe in something, that's what it drives you. I mean, your belief, your passion. I didn't fucking care about people saying no, it's stupid. You need one person that is your side, right? You just need one person that tell you, hey, you know what? I mean, I don't know, but maybe it's good. So I had like few person encourage me to go forward. Even didn't know what I was doing. And John was one of them, and say, okay, go, keep going, doing, blah blah. So I remember that, at some point, when on it was out there more, like this alpha male trainers, training at the gym. That was getting a lot of, like, attention from social media and things like that. He connected me and say, hey, what are you doing with that thing there, the bag, the water bag? We still working on that. I say, yeah, but I don't know where to go, because I mean, I'm kind of, at one point, where I don't know what to do with that, because nobody believed that is a good idea. And then he say, yeah, I'm coming to San Diego, for a mastermind thing, so we can meet, we can just show me more, so I can touch and see it. So he came down to my house. I show him the thing, I say, yeah, let me see, maybe we can put it on it. Say, are you sure? Because I mean, back then I was thinking more like things like, seen on TV, or, I mean, because there was nothing like that, like plastic like that in the fitness industry, right? Because everybody want to train with steel, and things like that. So I said, man, are you sure? I mean, I mean, I don't know. I don't see this thing, on it. It's like, what people like with the iron lifting and treadmill and this and that. I said, and he say, like, what do you have to lose, right? When you have zero and then you gain zero, what the fuck can you have to lose, right? So it was fun because we delayed a lot, the process of putting the bag on the market, with On It, because On It was growing fast and quick. So there were a lot of decisions being made back in the days there. So I kind of didn't believe that going to happen, but it happened. We put the bag on the market. And that was before the pandemic. And then we went sold out like 3 times. We got like, best strength tools to 2020 on the men's health. We achieved a lot of, interesting thing, So that was great. And the response we got from a lot of people was amazing, because again, we put the bag on the market with no expectation, to be honest, because the pandemic hit the world. The idea before was to target like a gym or coach team, but all the gym closed. There were no sport playing in the world, So I said, "What the fuck am I going to sell these things?" But the people started ordering online, so they were online ordering like this bag, even with no knowledge how to use it. But it was so simple, so no brain. People start doing like squat, lunges, curls, military press, so just shaking the bag. And the response was amazing from everybody. Like sold out, sold out. So we were pretty happy the work it did. And then now we waiting for more product to come on it, more bag coming on it. But because the distribution chain is kind of locked and it's hard, so we have the bag like delaying. But soon we're gonna have like more unit to sell online and on it, and we are expanding the business now in Australia and Europe, not with On It, that different, distributors. So we're gonna distribute soon in Australia and in Europe, the bag also. So we're gonna go more viral. We have also an app, related to HydroCore. So that's bad.
That's really cool stuff. And I think it just kind of goes to show you the power of just a simple thing that you don't know where it's going to take you. Whether it's an idea or whether it's, starting up a fitness routine, like you could start out just doing some push-ups and then, in 10 years, you're doing triathlons or whatever it is, just like sticking with something and the power of that consistency and determination and kind of belief in what you're doing. It can lead you to places that you probably never would imagine that you're even capable of going at the beginning. But it's cool to have you on here and just hearing
Thank
that
you.
backstory of it, because like you said at the beginning, it's that history of these things that can kind of like draw you into it and get you, hooked onto it. And just getting the history of this, it's really cool to hear it firsthand.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the man also they make, history is very important. I mean, I don't want to say that one of them, at the end, I just invented a water bag, but, but there's a lot of, people like into the bodybuilding industry, they create like, what we have now available, that's for me is fascinating because people don't understand how much hard work and beliefs and passion and no you have to get in your face and doors slammed in your face and struggle there is behind anything. People sometimes believe that things just happen magically. It's not that, it's very hard. Sometimes you don't have the support of the people you believe they're going to be the first one to support you, like family and friends are the last one to support you sometimes. And but I think it all comes, how much you believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. It's very important to believe in yourself. That's the main thing, because the people give up on dreams easily, and that's how I always say, don't expect anyone to believe in you. Don't take it for granted. Don't think that, because you think is a good idea, anyone around you going to think is a good idea. But don't let anyone, any asshole around you tell you that your idea is a bad idea. That's at the end of the day. I mean, we know. I mean, before I brought the example of the shaker, right? I mean, really, come on. Do you think that guy really, he believed in him? He believed in himself, and then he put that things on the market. That was not easy. One thing that was interesting during the process of developing the bag, when I had the prototype, I was testing around, with people, it's kind of randomly at the gym, asking people, "Oh, can you try this? Just tell me your feedback," because that's a probably the most important part of developing a product is like having people feedback and get the good feedback and the bad feedback. You don't fucking care. You need to understand and learn. It's a learning process, right? How to make better your product, or sometimes the product is good, but the system is sloppy. The information you want to put out there, they are bad. It doesn't mean that the product is bad. It's just like, the way you market or the way you try to explain how your idea what you want it to work. And we see that all the time. We see amazing things, but I'm not sold because your words are not convincing me, right? What you want to do it is not like what I wanted, or just like it's not convincing, right? You see it all the time happening, right? So you have to be good to sell the product, even if it's a good product. But I remember once I was at the gym here. I said, this guy, I was working out, and this guy came to me in his 60s, he was in his 60s, 65, something like that. He say, hey, what is that? I never seen that. What is it? Instead of explaining, because sometimes people, they don't have their understanding. I say, hey, let me work you out. This is the best way. I said, what are you doing here? I'll work you out for free, 30 minutes. Okay, I'll give a good workout, and then you give me feedback after. There's a guy, okay, let's do it. So this guy was like visiting in town, the gym. So I did like a workout, very basic stuff, did some shaking, some lunges, military press, basic stuff. I was always starting like that. And the guy was like, "Oh, this is cool. I feel so good. This is, man, I've been doing this, blah, blah." I say, "Hey, give me your email. I would like you to put in touch with someone, blah, blah." I say, happen all the time. People say it, right? I say, "Okay, try to be polite. Here's my email." So after a few days, the guy contacted me and say, "Hey, I want to put you in touch with one of my clients, want to organize a call with them, if you don't mind." He said, "Yeah, why not? Who is your client?" And then he said, "Oh yeah, he's the inventor of the perfect push-up." So I said, "Okay." I back then I didn't know what it was, the perfect push-up. It was like an American thing, so I didn't know what it was. I had to research, what is this? So okay. So the next day, made this call with this guy, and it was great because he gave me a lot of fucking good advice. Because for his experience, obviously, the way he developed the product, the way he failed, the way everything he put in order and things like that. He gave me a lot of great advice. What is supposed to be 1 hour call, at the end up it was like 3 hours call. And this guy was amazing. He really he opened my eye more, and probably give me the little kick to don't give up on my idea. That was great. So then the kind of was a mentor. I mean, a free mentorship. We're talking a guy that made $1 million about the tools there. He sold the company. He told me a story that before that one he had another idea, and he had to sell his car. He's sleeping in on the bench, in the park, and was just so interesting to see it, how people struggled and it believed in himself and failed. That's the most important thing, probably more than succeed is failing. People need to fail to understand how to succeed. This is I think is the people that never failed. I don't think a big succeed in the right way. I don't know. I mean, it's just my for my own experience. Failing is so important. And I remember another important thing was in touch. The same time there was, so John Wolf told me about Onnit. Okay, Onnit is interested in the product, do that. But, yeah, it's his word, but you don't believe when it happened, right? When you see the contract, right? So I remember he contacted me, the guy from Shark Tank. It was the guy that created Shark Tank. It was the first two season of Shark Tank, and Kevin Harrington. And he created the show. And after he got out from the show, and then he's like on infomercial. So he's the guy that invented infomercial, so own infomercial. So he contacted me and say, "Oh, I saw your idea. I'm interested. Can you send me one to review, blah, blah." So I sent him one. He said, "Oh, I like it. I would like to put on an infomercial with Kate Jenner, do something with a VIP. We can sell online, blah, blah." So that's another thing, because the problem of when you struggle, the problem when you want to achieve something, you kind of can rush a process and kind of become a whore. So you sell yourself low to anyone that come with money, because you're desperate, right? That was a good idea, right? Go on TV selling the product. But I start doing some research, some thinking, and say, this will not make my product sustainable. So what's going to happen is that we're going to burn out the product, selling 2-3 months, and going to end up on a shelf or seen on TV, on CVS pharmacy, and nobody going to buy it. And I wanted something more sustainable. I wanted something that the people will appreciate in time. I can develop a system around and things like that. So I kind of had on the scale, these two proposal, one year to work harder and longer, and one that you can have right away what you wanted, but it's gonna fade out and then just be forgot. like people say, okay, oh, remember that thing, the shaker. So it'll be next to the shaker in CVS pharmacy, right? So that's why I decided to don't go that path. And, I told the guy, no, I'm not interested. I'm waiting for different proposal and things like that. But, maybe later on we can think about a collaboration. So that was another thing. So again, don't sell yourself low. If you have food on the table, wait. Time is always on your side. You gotta wait. It's better.
It's like the time aspect is always almost like the mental enemy, because we think we have, from one angle we think we have more time than we actually do, but then from the other angle it's like we never understand how long something actually is going to take, and we think like, oh, just because I saw this person or I saw this product, overnight, it just must have happened overnight. But really, it was like you're saying, it's the years of, going through trials and tribulations and doubts in yourself a lot of times, but believing in yourself at the end of the day, and then just keep going at it, and consistency. And like I said, it's not just in the world of business, it's in the world of fitness too. You have to,
Yeah.
if you don't see that initial result, you just got to keep pushing, and maybe try something new and get some guidance, and all the same principles apply when it comes to business and fitness and sports and just life in general. You have to be willing to put it in, and stay consistent with it. I think that's a really good message.
Yeah, the guy from the Perfect Push-Up, for example, he told me a story that one product he was trying to put on the market before, he failed because was not the right time. Sometimes it's not the right time. When people say, "Oh, it's not the right time," it's true. Unfortunately, it's true. It's not the fucking right time. You have to wait longer because the audience is not ready for that. I mean, imagine Nikola Tesla. Nobody believed in him hundreds of years ago. And now there's a Tesla fucking everywhere because another dude take over. It was the right time. That what he was. Is the right time. So when I remember there was a good was good that we delayed with on it a couple of years for my product, but I believe it was not the right time. There was not the right time to put the bag on the market. And when we put the bag on the market, I believed it was not the right time because the COVID started, but actually was the right time because everybody was buying it. Probably if we had to sell to coaches and how hard it is to convince like a coach to adopt the product for his team. Just like I need more education and things. I mean, it was probably be harder. Now we have we have some team they're using my bag. There's like the Los Angeles Clippers, right?
Right.
Basketball. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
NBA.
use the bag. There's a bunch of team they use the bag. There's a lot of professional coaches they use it, but it's still we have to go to the path. Still, we have to explore the path, like educating professional coach to understand about my product, because we had no possibility to do any workshop. I didn't do any workshop with my product. I did like 1 year in San Diego. That's all. But the plan was to educate like people worldwide how to use it and see and explore. It's still with this freaking COVID happening in the world, it's hard to gather, organize this kind of event. That's why we didn't do anything. So kind of I cannot wait the time that we will back to normal and organize workshop and education and connect each other live. That's what I'm looking for. So one thing that I want to tell about my product that I create a non-profit organization called HydroReach, which I invented basically a different version of the HydroCore. It's not for fitness, but it's more designed to transport water. So imagine like a HydroCore, the shape. So this one is like bigger, and you can put on your shoulder is like a water filter attached. You can purify water, so it's easy to transport water. Probably you ever seen in third world country, like people with a bucket on the head, or like create this stick with the buckets, transporting or holding buckets with the hand. So the HydroReach is an easy way to transport water. So that's another thing will come out probably during the summer, and we will distribute this bag worldwide to help people to transport water easily. because it's a big problem. So that will be interesting to see also the project taking off.
Well, that's really cool to not just go to the fitness side of it, but think on a larger human scale. I think that's really cool stuff you got going on, and seems like such an exciting time for the product, for yourself, just to see where it's going to lead. We talked about the past, but the future. I think it's cool to look ahead and think, okay, it took this many years to get it going. Now it's kind of starting to get going a little bit. But I think the future does, it holds some pretty cool stuff, and I'm excited to kind of see where it takes us. So
again, we just started, and we didn't have the possibility to explore more or put more information out there with HydroCore yet, because it's hard to do that. I'm sure, during this year and next year, we will do a lot of that. We gather a workshop event. There is this event that I'm putting together. I can't wait to organize. But it's kind of in standby because of COVID. Called Human Fit, where I want to bring all this modality like a maze. We did an experiment in Maui in June last year. It was very good. We came down to Maui, coaches that do maze, Klebel, kettlebell, HydroCore, landmine, body stuff, rope flow. So we brought all this modality together in one content. So my idea is to organize more of this event worldwide called Human Fit, and organize this event everywhere and get involved and more people. I think so. What we lack in our, I don't know if you also use this modality like a maze, Klebel, and animal flow modality, is mix it up, this information. There is no such a thing, an event like this. There isn't. There's like all the fitness event, all the same stuff all the time. So it's rarely you see a maze to Hirsa, right? You see kettlebell, yeah, but you don't see anything like very like a Klebel, a maze, or you don't see a workshop animal to Hirsa or LA Fitness, So we want to bring on more this modality. And I think it needed a specific event, so where people come and see everything in one content, they can explore and learn, but also the different people that use the same tool, they have different style. And I want they meet and they kind of share information and make the tool more interesting. There's a lot of things I put my tools up there without one thing that I was very determined to do it. I'm doing it is not because I invented this. I own the Bible of HydroCore. This is stupid. I want to see, I see already a lot of people using the product in an amazing way, in different way. There's people doing amazing stuff, using mix it up information and things. It just, that's amazing for me. That's what I wanted. I don't want to tell people how to use it. I want to give direction. Okay, that's what you can do it, but you can do more if you just put something yours inside or whatever you think you can do it. One interesting thing that happened with HydroCore is that this lady that contacted me, she used HydroCore to rehab horses. So she owned this horse sanctuary near Seattle, and she contacted me and said, "Hey, I had this idea to use your product with my horses." And I didn't understand what she was saying, because I said, "What do you mean, with the horses? Do you know this is for fitness? Well, how are you going to use with the horses?" I said, "I don't get it." And so we got in a call and she was trying to explain to me. So basically what she does, because she's very interesting, because at the end of the day, the psychology of an animal, we are animal, like psychology is the same, right? You see, people communicated, they use psychology with the horse's dog successfully, because they're smart, they understand the needs, and understand how to approach, to kind of crack, the fear or the gap, that sometimes animal have on learning skills or, rehab, right? So the problem with the horses is when get hurt, they get hurt because it's a human mistake. The horse don't get hurt because you run and get hurt. There doesn't exist such a thing. The horse run, does do things, he never get hurt. If you get hurt because there's a person riding and doing stupid shit to push himself in a way they don't want it and get hurt. So that's why the horse, get the fear of being having a host again, a human on top again. So don't want that anymore because he relates his pain, the fact that he got injured to the person, not to himself. That's why I don't want a person anymore. So what they do in this farm, they rehab horses, again, to have a person riding the horse. And the process is huge. Is the learning, relearning the horse. Psychologically, it's just, she says, like in months or years sometimes. So what she realized using my bag, because the bag creates the perception of carrying something, but it don't need to be heavy. It's just a neurological feedback. And then that's what also we do with some training stuff we use with HydroCore, with the people. So having this feeling that you have something, but is not danger for you. It don't want to let you do anything. It's just there. It's passive, right? So you have something there, but this something is just there. It's not like it's going to let you do anything. So because the shape of the bag, it looks like a saddle, right? And you can tie at the bottom some way. So she say in a few days I'm able to do a job that usually need me like months, because that's what she does. She go from nothing to the water, a little water, put more water, till the horse start saying, okay, that's not bad. I can do this again. It's not like, maybe do something stupid, just like, okay, I feel there. At the beginning, the horse kind of, don't want it, but it's when he starts seeing that, it's cool, it's fine, And then she said, she comments, man, that's amazing. She invited me to the sanctuary to see the work she's doing. So I'm excited to go there. But again, because of COVID, I had no opportunity to go visit. But that will be interesting to see it, how they use it. So again, I'm just saying this story because sometimes, having an open mind and thinking outside of the box is the best way to approach to anything, and see the potential of the tools of human, when you don't try to limit the possibility or the potential they have. You just do whatever fucking you want. Have fun, and then let's see it.
A lot of times people do get stuck in kind of the big box gym, mentality, and it's not enjoyable for them, so they just stop. So having access to different implements, stuff like what you have, and even stuff without implements, just get out there, get active, and enjoy what you're doing, and live an active life.
As a coach, doctor, they have to teach people how to take care of themselves. That's the basic. Don't just most of coaches, most of doctor thinking that don't showing things means like losing the clients. But see people I'm in touch from years. They come back to me all the time because they great that I show them a different way to take care of themselves. I'm not, again, a kind of guy that, man, I don't want to see a person coming to me because of the money, like for 10 years coming, working out with me and don't learn anything. Because the moment the person will lose me, we lose hope, we lose confidence, and it's not fair. It's not, we just go back and the same way it used to be, don't know nothing because they know better. It's like, for me, it's like sending your kid to school and the kid is smart just at school. Doesn't make sense. You need to get out from the school, show me what you learn and your skills and things. There's like a person that say, hey, why I don't get better on this? You train outside or we just train at the gym? Like you think like that hour you spend at the gym is enough to make you a better person or to learn better. If you think about it, if you make it like a simple math, like thinking, like if a person go to the gym 3 hours a week, like 3 hours a week, for 1 year, is like 6 day a year. They say, okay, Ronaldo, I became a soccer player because he trained 6 day a year. No, because he fucking swinging the ball all day long, and then he's doing any possibility you have to swing the ball, he's doing it. That's why I become like a champion.
Right.
Obviously you don't need to spend so many hours, but don't expect to get any result with 6 day of using your body. I mean, saying like that seems insane, right?
Yeah, it does. That's crazy. I've never thought about it like that, but it's a lifestyle. I think that's what it comes down to, is that if you want to have a different life, you have to change your lifestyle. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a good point. It's been great to talk to you tonight. I really do appreciate you coming on last minute here today and
No problem. It was a
sharing
pleasure.
with us. It's been an honor to get to talk to you.
I appreciate it, my man. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a great night.